What up YouTube, Topaz Jace back for another daily review, and this one is to that Don Trip, Free Roy, Free Fletch, and this is a brief EP that he released here, and I'm giving it the green light because it's definitely enjoyable on a lot of levels, man, because lyrically, he's doing what he does best, which is just hit you with a whole bunch of core punchlines, and then he got a bunch of songs that have interesting concepts, but yet overall, these songs, a lot of them weren't all that great. There's only but 2 of them on here that I would absolutely say you must purchase, but outside of that, a bunch of just fillers, as this just comes off as a filler project for whatever he got coming up next. So let's go ahead and break down my favorite songs off of this, starting with that No Such Thing, where this was a solid track because he's giving us like some key knowledge that you're going to have to understand. There's no such thing as having enough money to do whatever you want to do, because when you look at certain acts that's out there, like say Rick James, who was super rich at the point in time that he was at, or look at MC Hammer, these people had a lot of money at these individual points, but yet they ran through them all, through a whole bunch of different things, whether it's drug habits, whether it's MC Hammer looking out for the community that really trying to clown him and such right now, but he did a lot of positive things, but yet he wore out all of his money on top of some super big expenses that he really couldn't afford like that in the long run. Like, he made a lot of mistakes, but these all ultimately show you that having a lot of money at one particular time doesn't necessarily mean that you have enough forever. Like, you're going to have like old money, like all of these white people who got money straight off of slavery still, because that money got invested and they continue to build upon it. Like, there's a lot of families that still got that kind of money that they could never blow, no matter how many children they have with drug issues or how many bad investments these individuals do over the years, because there comes a point where the money continues to work for itself and continue to build more money. Like, you have to reach that point, and that's a point that very few people actually ever get to. So he's kicking some real knowledge right here that you can have some money right now, but yet tomorrow it cannot be there. So you'll never have really enough to provide for your family until you reach to that utmost plane. On top of some very solid production, man, this was honestly one of the most solid songs off this entire project. And then the only other song that I definitely recommend people to go ahead and download right here, dude, is that 10:04 p.m. because this is just him going in on top of some solid production. Like, let me go ahead and kick some of these bars here. Said how his tent is so dark, he's like Marvin the Martian because you can't see his face. That was a dope punchline, because if you guys remember Marvin the Martian, the cartoon from Looney Tunes, it's always been a pitch black alien, like you only see its eyes. And then saying that he got the juice, like how he got Capri Sun by the crate, like, that was pretty solid, because the juice is pretty much having the swag, pretty much the persona of you having everything, you going out here doing whatever you want to do, and saying that he got an abundance of it, like an entire crate of Capri Sun that you would probably see at a shopping store that you can buy the crate and all of that, man. That was pretty cool. But on top of that, he kicks some core knowledge on top of that, saying how he will follow the code, but yet he doesn't follow the rules. He invent those as he goes, and that's something that you definitely have to understand. See, there's a code in which everybody must follow when it comes to hip-hop, when it comes to the underground, and when it comes to like outside of being part of the law and all that, man. You honestly have a code that you need to follow in order to find success, because if you cross some lines, you can ultimately be killed for such. But yet there's no absolute rule to how you need to come up. Like, this is something a lot of people get mistaken, especially when it comes to the hip-hop game. Like, you think that there's specific rules that you need to follow, and then automatically you're going to get a record deal based off of it. But there's no rules to this game. As long as you don't violate any of the codes, and then you become creative and you go ahead and find your own, you can be successful at anything in this game. But you got to understand those rules that everybody try to tell you that you have to follow. Those are not real, and there's so many different examples of people out here who broke these so-called rules and found their own success due to it. But those are the only 2 songs that I really liked outside of Puzzle Pieces, which I've already made a review for, that you should definitely go ahead and peep that out. But we should go ahead and touch on some of these other songs that's within this EP, like that Danity Kane, where that was an interesting play on words that he did right here, where this entire song is based upon like cleaning up dirty money and being in the streets and all of that, but yet he's pretty much making references to Diddy and Diddy's album, that Dirty Money that he came out with, and the singing group that he had, that Danity Kane and such. And it's all like a slick wordplay because Kane as in drugs and all of that, but it's like Danity Kane. He's really spinning off of all that, but when you break down the actual lyricism, basically just giving a whole bunch of drug dealing, hustling balls that tied it all together. And that was smooth, just the punchlines really weren't there for this particular song, and that production really wasn't that strong either. And the last song I definitely wanted to touch on was that Lost It, because it's a interesting thing right here too, because he and the individuals that's on this song, they're speaking on how women tend to lose their senses when they come up and talk to them. You did, like, a lot of women will come up to you and kind of expect you to take care of them, expect you to go ahead and buy a whole bunch of things, and you honestly ain't about that. Like how they're saying, like, okay, I'm only here to give you sex. I'm only here to do things that I want to do. I'm not going to go ahead and make you into something more overnight. Like, I'm not going to trick off on you. I'm not going to make you into something that you honestly aren't prepared to be. I'm not going to sit up here and pillow talk with you. And this is just real talk, because this is how you need to be, especially when you have some notoriety, when you have some fame, because women are going to come to you just so they can come up off of you, man. And you don't want to be used like that, but yet in essence, we all like to deal with women. We all like to deal and have sex with them all the way around. But just because you like to have sex with women and have fun with women and all that doesn't mean that you should leave yourself open to go ahead and get taken advantage of. And this is just some real talk. As I feel Scotty ATL definitely did have like the best punchline up on here, saying how chicks start jumping stupid, and he said he hit the block on her like an offensive lineman in the NFL or something. That was pretty cool, because that's what linemen do. They block individuals, and he means block as in, I'm not answering your phone calls anymore. I'm never going to get your phone calls anymore because I can block your number and anything that's related to you. While Don Tripp definitely had a moment on here saying how he would much rather run up in the bank with a strap and then forget to leave the money in the bank. And that was pretty comical right there, you dig, because he's trying to say the limits of he will go to avoid having to hear the nonsense that these women will bring to him, man. And this is all just real talk. It's just, again, the production wasn't that strong. Overall, the song just really fell flat, but it definitely had its moments. But yet, overall, man, 3 solid songs on here that definitely are worth purchases, but not worth an entire purchase here. And that's why I'm giving this EP, man, a solid 5 out of 10. But a quick recap here, man. The positives that I'm taking from this is you're getting some quality lyricism, you are getting some decent concepts, and then you're getting solid 3 songs, man. But yet the negatives is I tend to expect much better from Don Tripp, as this project isn't all that dope of a project, dude. And I know you guys are waiting for a review from that ASAP Mob joint, man. It's just I'm mad busy right now. Hopefully I can try to piece one together later tonight, because I got something I need to go to. If not then, if not Sunday, it'll definitely be Monday. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpass.com, that's down there, to read today's article.